So the 4th of July is finally over. It's been an interesting weekend. God, there's always something to just talk about, isn't there? So I was up in Lake Placid, New York over the weekend, and if you watched my video on Saturday, it was, or no, I'm sorry, on Friday, it was a short video. It was only about 6 minutes. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. We spent most of the day driving up to Lake Placid, and by the time we got there, I didn't really have either a lot to talk about or even, for that matter, much energy to get that out. Then come to find out that the internet at the resort that we were staying at was absolutely atrocious. So there was, it took 2.5 hours to upload a 6-minute video. So after that happened, I told myself that I was going to pass on even doing a video on Saturday. It really wasn't worth it. And then, of course, Sunday nights are the nights that I do The Gentleman and the Jerk with my friend Mark from Seattle. So sorry you didn't get a video on Saturday. It's not that I didn't do anything. I actually did quite a bit. I'll talk a little bit about it here during tonight's quick episode as well. But great weekend. My girlfriend and I went up to Lake Placid, and for those not familiar, it's way up in the Adirondack region here in New York in the state park, and a couple little lakes, several mountains, what they call the Adirondack High Peaks. And Jessica and I climbed one of them. As a matter of fact, I can take a moment here and show you what we were doing. It was actually really, really impressive. So this right here is me up on top of one of the high peaks. Organizing climb. We have reached the peak of Cascade Mountain. This is one of the 46 high peaks here in the Adirondacks. It took us about 2 hours and a little over 2 hours to get up to the top. We got some people there being really, really loud, but it is unbelievably beautiful up here, as you can see. And now we got to climb down, and then we're gonna go grab some food. How do you feel, Jessica? Yeah. All right. We're gonna take this in for a few more minutes, and then we're walking out of here. I just wanted to stop in and have it for posterity that we climbed the first of our 46 high peaks. Cascade will always be number one. All right. So there was a second video there that was available to climb. It's called Porter. If we had walked down from the peak at Cascade, it's a quick back up to the next mountain of Porter. However, it adds about 1.5 miles to the hike, and we were already spent. That morning, I had actually cycled from the resort we were staying at in Lake Placid down to Whiteface Mountain, which is one of the larger of the high peaks. It's also a very world famous ski resort. So the whole Lake Placid area actually has held the Winter Olympics twice in its history. I believe 1930s, and then in 1938, I think, and then 1980. So it was absolutely beautiful. We even did some kayaking while we were there. So a lot of fun stuff. As a matter of fact, here's a little bit of the kayaking right here. I mean, it was absolutely, bring this sound down here a little bit. It was absolutely beautiful water, very dark, crystal clear, with all the mountains all around us. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking to be able to kayak out there and experience that stuff. And like I said, I got on my bike. The bike stuff also equally cool. Let me see if I can find a decent shot here at the end of it. If memory serves, it should be right here. And yeah, right here. So this is the end of my bike ride. That right there that you're seeing directly ahead of me, that is that's Whiteface Mountain. That's the ski resort. You can see the ski hills there. And then I headed back from this point here. I mean, it was about 10.5 miles from the resort that we were staying at to Whiteface Mountain. And then I biked back. Then we went and kayaked about 4 miles or so. Then we decided to go hike. So I'm going to put all this into a video and edit it all together. I actually got some really fantastic drone footage too. This right here is a little bit of that. You can see this is Lake Placid right here. So straight ahead is that same mountain you just saw. That's Whiteface Mountain, but from the other side. So if you look over above where my head is right now on the screen, that valley between those mountains is where I was riding my bike, to the opposite side of that mountain that's straight ahead there. And then this is my drone descending back to the back property of the resort that we were staying at. So absolutely breathtaking area. I'm going to go back there again quite a few times. Like I said, we have plans to finish up and do all the high peaks up there in the Adirondack region. So it might take us a few years. It'd be really nice if I could finish 46 high peaks by the time I turn 46. I think that would be pretty impressive. So one of the things that I could not get away from while I was up there was some of the news that was coming out from the national press, specifically our president, Donald J. Trump, talking at Mount Rushmore. I caught only a brief few moments of the speech. I try to avoid listening to the man speak because everything he has to say drives me insane. But as always, no matter how divisive he is, people support the things that he has to say. So he's doubling down on the race war now. He even took to Twitter today to bash the NASCAR driver who found a noose in his garage. Now, it has been deemed by the FBI to be a misunderstanding, but Trump is now doubling down on the hoax conspiracy, saying, that he needs to apologize, that this driver needs to apologize. Bubba Wallace is his name. And, it's just, I don't understand why this continues to go on. I mean, this story was kind of working its way out of the mainstream. We're no longer kind of hearing about it every day. And then, of course, Trump has to come out and bring it up again. And, I just don't understand what is going on. President Trump right now, in case you didn't know and somehow missed all of this, is in the middle of a presidential election. He's trying to win his second term. And anybody that knows politics knows that he is creating a divide. And that divide is scaring away a lot of middle-of-the-road voters. You're undecided, maybe even a lot of people that voted for him in 2016, but maybe have some regrets about their vote. Those people he is scaring off en masse right now. And I believe, as a lot of the articles coming out of Washington are saying, even right-leaning papers like the Wall Street Journal are saying that, the Senate, especially the Senate Republicans, may abandon Trump very, very soon because of the choices that he's making. There are some senators, including Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, who's at risk. Maybe not going to lose, but he should not be even close to his opponent in Kentucky right now. And sure enough, he is. Lindsey Graham is in a tight race. I mean, there's a good chance that the Democrats, if this is a referendum election on Trump, the Democrats could actually take the Senate, maintain and grow their lead in the House, and also have the White House. And that would make for wholesale change, with the exception of perhaps the Supreme Court, unless, with a large majority, we're able to possibly add 3 members to the Supreme Court and tip it back to a more liberal leaning court, which I am all for that idea. While I would love to see Justice Roberts continue, because lately he has been a little bit more middle of the road. If it's in fear, if there's fear that we are going to see that court start to really lean right, I would be totally for President Biden, should he come to office, adding 3 more justices that are of a liberal leaning, more left kind of persuasion. So, there's some other news that's going on around there right now. Hamilton, we talked about it a little bit. Hamilton came out on late Thursday night into Friday on Disney Plus. I got a chance to watch it. It is utterly fantastic. If you have a good surround sound system, I highly recommend watching it in 7.1. I have a nice large TV. I have a Philips Hue system, so I've got the entertainment zone set up, so all the colors of the lights all play in part. And I got to tell you, I'm going to watch that probably 500 times. I have listened to that soundtrack at least 100 times in the last several years. I saw the show live at the Richard Rodgers Theater in New York City on Broadway back in January, and to see the original cast in all their glory from 2016 is just absolutely awe-inspiring. It's a fantastic performance. They filmed it, I believe, over the course of 3 different nights in order to cut together the scenes that they had, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. So if you haven't had a chance, make sure you jump onto Disney Plus and watch that as soon as you possibly can. So nice short night tonight. I just wanted to touch base on a few things that were going on real quick. Of course, I could say something bad about Trump just about every night of the week. Feel free to comment below. If you don't like what I had to say, great. I'd love to hear your complaints about my point of view. If you like what I have to say, man, please like the channel, subscribe to my channel, like my page on Facebook, and like this video if you like what I have to say. Some of that footage that you just saw from my Lake Placid trip, I will be piecing together into a more cohesive video. I will post that on my page shortly, as well as to my other YouTube channel, the Sometimes Vlogger. I will be doing it up there as well. So pay attention to that. I will link that below when that is up and running. But as always, thank you for watching the Daily Octane. Short episode tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a little bit more to go. I'm still recovering from the weekend and trying to get back into my ordinary life. But it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing evening. Thanks for watching.